Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Marketing and Mindset with your host, Matt Miller. And today, this episode is all about artificial intelligence. It's all about artificial intelligence or AI. So, have you ever had any of these thoughts? What exactly is AI? Does it have the potential to take over your job in the future? How can you utilize it on a day-to-day basis? Or maybe you're just here to really understand the basics of it. I'll be answering all these questions and giving my take on AI and what I think it has the power to do in the future. During this episode, we're going to talk about AI, what exactly it is, if it's something that you could potentially utilize on a day-to-day basis. And then also, I'm going to talk about how I use it personally on a weekly basis. And then lastly, I'm going to give some practical details on how the average day person can start using AI in any form of their daily activities. So what exactly is artificial intelligence or AI? In its simplest form, artificial intelligence is simply the replication or the simulation of human intelligence. So what that means is artificial intelligence's goal is to replicate a human or be more efficient and more smart than a human. And the artificial intelligence is usually in the form of a machine, most likely a computer. And artificial intelligence utilizes machine learning, different algorithms, and really what it does is you'll put in a prompt and it'll pull from data all over the web and it'll condense it and give out an answer that it thinks it caters to your specific needs and what requirements you want it to offer. One form of artificial intelligence is ChatGPT. It's ChatGPT. And what it does is it's basically a different web browser and you can have a conversation with it. You can put in a prompt and you'll get a response. And what's really cool about ChatGPT is that it remembers the conversation as you continue moving throughout the conversation. So if you ask ChatGPT a simple prompt, for example, if you say, I have an upcoming podcast and I want 5 different lessons that I can speak to in an episode regarding leadership, it'll spit out 5 different topics that you can discuss. And then maybe you have a follow-up and you say, I don't like those 5 topics. Can you cater these specific topics to your target audience? And maybe your target audience is somebody in their 20s who lives in Ohio who likes Cleveland sports. And in that case, you can say, cater these 5 topics to that specific person. And what AI will do is that it will actually give responses to that specific target audience. And ChatGPT was developed by OpenAI, and ChatGPT has data and knowledge recognition as of January 2022 when it had its last update. And ChatGPT has 2 different models right now that I'm aware of. There's GPT 3.5 and then there's 4.0. 3.5 is the free version that anybody can use. So you can simply just Google ChatGPT and then you'll have the possibility to interact with the chatbot. And then there's also 4.0, and what 4.0 gives you the ability to do is actually incorporate different artificial intelligence within ChatGPT. For example, there's DALL-E, DALLE, and DALL-E has the ability to form an image. I played around with it a little bit and it's really cool. You can basically say, ChatGPT, please give me an image of a horse on a rainbow on the Pacific Ocean, whatever the case is, and it'll give you an image catered to whatever you tell it to do, and it can be very random, which is really cool to see how it picks up on the different descriptive words. So why artificial intelligence and why ChatGPT? Number one, it's super effective and can be very efficient. It can save you time. For example, if you're stuck and you have to give a speech and maybe you need 5 different topics, you can simply ask the chatbot, give me 5 different topics on this topic area, and you can start that initial conversation with it, which will help give you ideas, which will hopefully reduce the time that you take to start your speech, will reduce the overall time. And then also, ChatGPT is very intelligent. The thing that differentiates ChatGPT the most from just an internet search is you're having a conversation. You give it feedback, and based on that feedback, it takes whatever you say and it creates a different model and outputs a different value or different words that caters to your specific question. And it's open dialogue. If you don't like something and you want to change it, it has the ability to do that. If you want to change an output from a 7th grade reading level to a 13th grade reading level, it has the ability to do that as well and make the different words appropriate to the different audience you want to give it to. And I personally believe that every business will be using some form of artificial intelligence in the next 5 years, let alone the next year or two. I believe it has so much power that if you're not utilizing it in your business, you're going to be blown away by different competitors that are actually using it. However, there are a bunch of mixed feelings on artificial intelligence, a bunch of concerns regarding the ethics of ChatGPT and artificial intelligence as a whole. Forbes did a study where they surveyed over 600 business owners that either utilized artificial intelligence or had a plan to utilize artificial intelligence. And during this study, it came up with some pretty interesting results. Number one, it said over half of business owners use artificial intelligence for cybersecurity and fraud management. Number two, it said 1 in 4 business owners are concerned about AI affecting website traffic. Number three, it said almost 97% of business owners believe ChatGPT will help their business. 1 in 3 businesses plan to use ChatGPT to write website content, and 44% plan to use ChatGPT to write content in other languages. Nearly half, 46% of business owners use AI to craft internal communications. Over 40% are concerned about an overdependence on technology due to AI use. And lastly, nearly 2/3, 64% of business owners believe AI will improve customer relations. So overall, you see those numbers. You see 2/3 of business owners. You see over half. You see 97%. So many people understand the power of AI. There are some ethical concerns. There are concerns about copying and cheating and doing other things with artificial intelligence. But overall, my thoughts on artificial intelligence and ChatGPT is just like any other tool and any other software that's used by humans. It's only going to be as ethical and as good as the human that's controlling it. So I believe that ChatGPT and artificial intelligence can be ethical, it can be good. It just depends on the person using it, which definitely does bring up some concerns. Now that I've discussed what AI is and what ChatGPT is and why I believe that it has a lot of benefits, I want to now discuss how I use it on a weekly basis. First, I use ChatGPT on almost a daily basis. One thing that I do is whenever I come up with a new podcast episode, the first thing I do is use ChatGPT to generate different ideas. So when I had this podcast episode, I knew I wanted to talk about AI, but I simply asked ChatGPT, what are some examples of different prompts that I could use in this outline, just discussing AI as a whole? And it gave me 5 or 6 ideas, and I ended up using some of that during my outline. I also use it sometimes for statistics, for quotes. I'll just simply type in something and it'll spit out 5, 10, whatever, however many quotes and statistics that I need. Also, as I do this podcast, I also do short form content. This podcast is typically 10 to 20 minutes, but I'll also put out Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. And these Reels and Shorts are usually about 60 seconds. And during those 60 seconds, I'll take a video of myself and I'll explain a key topic. And I upload that video to an app called Submagic. And what Submagic does is it utilizes AI. I'll upload the video and it'll automatically put in the captions. It'll automatically write a description and add emojis. And what's really cool is it'll do editing features and it'll do different B-roll features. So for example, if I'm giving a talk, a 30, 60-second talk on the importance of artificial intelligence, and in the middle of that, I talk about something such as basketball, and I somehow relate the topic of ChatGPT to basketball, the artificial intelligence will pick up on that and it will offer you a different video of somebody maybe shooting a basketball hoop, and then it'll come back to the person, it'll zoom in, it'll zoom out, but it picks up on different words and can create different images and videos based on those words that you're discussing. So it's really cool, it's really quick. And for example, if I do a 60-second video, I'll upload it to that app. It'll do the editing, the features, the zooming in. It'll create the captions, the description, all in a couple minutes, and then I'll be good to post that on social media. Next, whenever I have an outline, what I can ask ChatGPT to do is put in different sentences for each outline or each topic that I'm discussing. And it can create more of a long form description. What's also really cool, if I don't like the feedback that it gives me, I can simply say, change it up, target this different audience, and change up this specific sentence, and it'll give me a different output that hopefully is more aligned to what I want it to be. A couple other things that are really cool, as I mentioned earlier, it can change the reading level. Sometimes ChatGPT gives responses that seem like they're talking to somebody who's maybe more informed on the topic, and I can simply say, please rephrase this at a 6th grade reading level, and it'll bring back that in a different description that targets a 6th grader. Or you can say, I don't like this specific word. Anytime you use this word, change it to fit something else that makes more sense. So overall, I use ChatGPT and artificial intelligence on a weekly basis, and it's a big part of me creating an outline, putting up videos, and then writing descriptions. And overall, it probably saves me 3 to 5 hours a week, and that's just somebody who uses it on a limited basis. Now that we've discussed what I do in terms of using ChatGPT and artificial intelligence, I now want to transition over to what the audience, what the practical person, what the everyday person can do to start using ChatGPT and understanding how it works. Something that everybody does is write emails or write cards. For example, if you're writing an email to a coworker or you're writing a card to somebody, you can use ChatGPT to come up with different ideas, but also to just write the card for you. For example, I wanted to showcase what artificial intelligence can do. So I came up with a hypothetical example and I typed this prompt in ChatGPT preparing for this podcast. And I just said, write me a short Christmas card that includes last year in review featuring Matt's graduation, Marley, our new puppy, and the vacation we took to the Outer Banks in North Carolina. And this is what it came up with. Dear friends and family, wishing you joy and warmth this holiday season, reflecting on the year we celebrate Matt's graduation, the delightful addition of Marley to our family, and the unforgettable memories at the Outer Banks in North Carolina. Grateful for the memories and looking forward to creating more in the coming year. Merry Christmas. Warm regards, your family name. Something as simple as that, if you give it 3 bullet points, it can come up with a paragraph that you can discuss in a card. And what sets ChatGPT apart is you can offer it feedback saying you do like this part about it or you don't like this part about it, and then it will generate a different response based on what you tell it to do. Second, it reduces procrastination by idea generation. So if you're stuck and you're not sure where to go, simply ask it for ideas and it will give you the first step or maybe the next step or maybe the last step. Something that will help you along your journey of trying to figure something out. And then lastly, it'll give recommendations. For example, if you're moving to a new city, let's call it Atlanta, you can type into ChatGPT, I'm a 16-year-old guy looking to meet new people and try new things in Atlanta. What would you recommend doing? And it'll come up with a list that's catered to that specific person. So you can use this tool to help with different recommendations. So overall, we discussed what artificial intelligence or AI is, how to utilize ChatGPT, which is a form of artificial intelligence. We also talked about how I believe that everybody should be utilizing ChatGPT and artificial intelligence because I believe in the future there's going to be very few, if any, businesses that are not using it. Do I think it's going to replace jobs in the future? I don't think it'll necessarily replace jobs, but I think there will be very few jobs in the future where AI or some type of ChatGPT is not a requirement to know the basic needs and functionality of it. So I recommend everybody to just start playing around with it and understanding how it works because it can save you time and time can save you money. So if you just simply Google Chat GPT, you can ask it some questions and you can see how it remembers certain things, and that will help you along your journey to understanding the way of the future. Next, we talked about how I personally use artificial intelligence for idea generation, for using it to write descriptions, and how it can actually edit your videos. And then we discussed how it can be used by the general public, by the everyday person. And some examples that I gave was writing emails and writing cards. It can get better and more efficient at doing that. It also reduces procrastination by generating ideas, and then it can give recommendations, whether it's your first step, your next step, or your last step. Overall, artificial intelligence is something that's very exciting. It also comes with a lot of responsibility. There are ethical concerns. And as I mentioned, just like with any tool or software, it's only as good as the person controlling it. And hopefully everybody can use it in an ethical way, and we can use it as something to increase our efficiency, decrease our time to do stuff, and ultimately save us time and money and use it on our side instead of against us. I currently use artificial intelligence and I continue to play around with it to see its capabilities, and I'm excited for what it can do in the future. And I recommend everybody to just go give it a try. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode, and we'll be back with another episode shortly.